Oh boy, escort missions. Escort missions in video games are levels where you have to guide and protect non-playable characters. Usually these situations come up due to story reasons. If you have to rescue a princess or bring an important character to a location safely, there's a decent chance it's going to be an escort mission. If a game has one of these levels, there's likely to be more of them later down the road. I mean, why go through the trouble of programming AI for an NPC if you're only going to use it once, right? One thing I've noticed is that NPCs that need to be escorted generally aren't well liked, or at the very least aren't anyone's favorite character. And that's because escort missions can potentially be some of the most annoying levels in video games. The first reason why escort missions are so hated is because they make you responsible for something other than yourself. When you play a single player game, you only have to worry about yourself, keeping track of your position, your health, and the enemies that are coming after you. When you introduce someone else into the equation, now you are responsible for all of the things I just mentioned for not only yourself, but for someone else. You signed up to play a fun video game, not babysit some kid. Some games even force you to have to carry the NPC, which can then make playing as your own character a pain in the butt. Now, I do think that adding someone else to worry about can potentially add tension to the game, which makes the game more exciting, but a lot of the time, escort missions are more annoying than they are tense or exciting. It's one thing to die because you suck, but if I die because my NPC companion is incompetent and got hurt, it doesn't feel like I lost because I made a mistake. It feels like I lost because the AI didn't have half a brain cell to call its own. The easiest way to fix this issue is to make the NPC smart. If it feels like you're yelling at the screen for the NPC to do what you want it to do, then it's gonna suck. But if the NPC doesn't have to be told what to do like a child, then it works. The second reason why escort missions are so hated is because the NPCs are usually pretty useless. I wouldn't mind having to be someone's bodyguard if they at least knew how to tie their own shoes without somehow ending up with a concussion. These NPCs can't go more than 5 seconds without ending up captured, stuck, or dead. And the worst part is, a lot of them don't even have a means of protecting themselves. Escort missions wouldn't be that bad if the character you have to protect could at least do something other than cry for help. The easiest way to fix this issue is to make the NPCs actually able to do something. I'm not saying they gotta be Master Chief, that would defeat the purpose of the escort mission itself, but give them the ability to pick up items for you, or call out potential hazards, or stun enemies. Make them feel more like a partner and less like a liability. The third reason why escort missions are so hated is because the person you have to protect is often not a very fun character to be around.
How rude!
No one wants someone crying in their ear for help all day. No one wants someone constantly complaining or criticizing them for not doing a good enough job. No one wants to hang around with a boring character all day. I don't know, maybe the character isn't all that insufferable. It's just having to guide them after they've died for the 14th time makes them feel more annoying than they actually are. The easiest way to fix this issue is to make the NPCs actually endearing characters. I'm going to be a whole lot more receptive to being someone's bodyguard if I actually like them as people. Princess Leia from Star Wars Trilogy Apprentice of the Force is an example of how to do escort missions well. She can fight back against enemies with her blaster. She can't shoot vertically or diagonally, but she is a big help against stormtroopers on the ground. She can die, so you do have to watch her health bar, but whenever you get a healing item, she gets healed too. But not only that, if you get a power-up to your gun, she also gets a power-up to her weapon as well. This is a great balance of making her useful, but not overpowered. Ellie from The Last of Us is another example of a good escort mission character. The whole game is basically an escort mission, so the developers made sure Ellie was cool to have around. She can spot enemies for you, give you items, and even help you in combat. She also can't be spotted by enemies, which would be annoying for a game that encourages stealth. Ellie can't swim, which means there are some areas where you'll have to make a path for her, but her not being able to swim feels like a realistic flaw and not her being an idiot. Cheryl from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is another example of a good escort mission character. She has her own Pokemon that she can battle with, although it isn't particularly strong. However, she can heal your Pokemon to keep you ready for any upcoming threats. And in the updated third version of the game, Pokemon Platinum, she even gives you a useful item for your Pokemon. So, in short, make the character you have to escort likable and don't make them completely useless, or at the very least, don't make it a pain to have them around.